Well, I also want to ask you, is there anything that you would like to share with everybody about your work or anything at all? Is there anything you'd like to share?
Hmm. I'm just like really pleasantly surprised like how much this space has grown.
Yeah.
Um because there's so many new actors, there's so many new people like watching these and like creating them and like writing
Yeah.
them, and it's just like it's mind-blowing to me because when I started like there wasn't any of that. Like there was maybe like a few apps, like 3,
Yeah.
and no one really like knew about them. So it's kind of crazy, but in a good way, like how much this is expanded.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I started my page in February, and some of the people that were quite just starting out or, had only been in one are now in like 12 in like that short period of time.
Mhm.
So it's really good at how fast they can be done too. But I also realize that that's an extreme workload on everybody getting them out so fast.
Yeah, I will say like cuz I had done Lifetime before doing these, and Lifetime shoots pretty fast too, like in 2 weeks, but shooting a full like feature length script in like 7 days, that really taught me how to like I feel like I could do a lot now. Like I won't
Yeah.
say anything, but I feel like I could do a lot cuz my stamina with the workload has just increased so much that it takes a lot for me to get tired. Like I almost
Yeah.
never sleep now because I'm always like go 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 go.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess that's a good thing because it taught me how to be resilient in that way.
Well, you adapt to the space. So like if you're filming a big time TV movie or whatever, you've got months generally to
Yeah.
film. Whereas this is such a small type period that you just adapt to it, I guess.
Well, and I think that's kind of like going off like topic a bit here, but I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what is sometimes frustrating when people, because I see it all the time, not just on my acting, but like other actors that do these like about how bad our acting is. And it's like other actors that do like big movies have like, like you were saying, like months, to prepare,
Yeah.
months to do it. Sometimes they're only doing like 5 to 6 pages a day. We're doing 20.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
like, we're doing what we can with what we have. And I
Yeah.
think that we do a pretty good job considering.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, just seeing like all of those comments sometimes I'm like,
Mm,
if only you knew, if only you knew.
yeah. Well, I completely understand that, which is why, like, I'm like, I was speaking to Alicia in the first interview that I did, and she said the best thing for her is to just let it go. So
Mhm.
she does a take and she's going back and she'd be like, oh, I wish I did it this way. But then if you let yourself eat yourself up about it, it just affects the rest of your day. So she said, just let it go and move on.
Mhm. And that's kind
Yeah.
of what you have to do because you don't even have time to like think about how you did after because you're like, oh, next scene, you got to get into it.
Yeah.
And it's like a completely different emotion, a different day. And so you just have to like jump from scene to
You only
scene.
get you only get like maybe like two or three takes as well, don't you?
Usually, yeah. This last one I was on, we did quite more than that.
Okay.
It's kind of a lot, but usually,
Hmm.
yeah, like you'll do 2 takes, a close up, a wide. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
pretty much standard. Sometimes a 2 shot, like if they really want it. Um, yeah.
Oh, that would be stressful. It would be stressful at times. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also exciting because it's like, you know, you're doing it. Like you're on set and you're doing it. That's what I try to remind myself like when I do get tired or like when I am feeling it. I'm like, well, at least I'm here. I would rather be
Yeah.
here than anywhere else.
Yeah. Do you watch your work and go back and learn from your experiences? Or I know some people don't watch their work at all, and some people do.
Um, I have sometimes like it depends. I've had like 2 watch parties for like 2 of my projects, so like it was kind of like a group thing where we all watched it together. Um, and then typically like I'll just watch certain scenes to see how they turned out, like from what I remember. But then a lot of the times it's not even because I want to, it's just because I see it like on my For You page and I'm like,
Yeah.
that is me.
Yeah.
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 And I'm like, no, 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 no.
Well, you're brilliant. Whether you like your stuff or not, you are brilliant.
Thank
Um,
you.
I love your work. So
Thank you so much.
it's okay. All right. This is an open question. I ask everybody this question because I want more original storylines. I know, like you said, a lot of the storylines get repeated quite often. So I'm looking for new ideas. So my last question is, if you could star in a vertical that you would class as the perfect storyline, what would it be?
Ooh, this is a good one. Honestly, I would want to do something like a thriller or a horror, like something in that genre. One of my
Yeah.
favorite movies of all time is Saw. So like I would want
Yeah.
to do like a psychological kind of like thriller horror vertical where a group of people have to like go through these like phases or games to like survive. I think that would be like so dope. So
Yeah,
something like that or like even something like supernatural like dealing with like
that'd
ghosts
be cool.
and stuff like that, like in demons, because I think that that could be really cool too. Yeah. See, I think
Yeah,
that there's so much that can be done, and like, it's
there
like
is so much.
yeah, we haven't even like
Yeah.
reached it yet. Yeah.
I mean, I've asked this question to a few people, and we've got pirates, got pirate one. Um, John mentioned a courtroom scenario where you could, like,
Ooh,
find out if somebody's guilty or not, and it could be in any time period because it's just the courtroom set, which I found was also very interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Yeah. I've heard from a few people that, they pitch ideas and they just get shut down quite quickly. Have you had that experience where you've like pitched an idea and you weren't allowed to do it?
I mentioned because I had a meeting with another company like about like 2 weeks ago, and I pitched an idea. I started writing it, but I haven't finished it. And they actually seemed to like the idea. Whether or
Good.
not they would take it on
Yeah.
is questionable because it's more of like a high school like thriller um, based off of like the movie Jawbreaker. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I
It was
haven't, no.
from the 1980s. It's a good
Okay.
movie, but I kind of drew inspiration from that. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because it's high school, I think that they would want it and that it would do well because that genre tends to do well anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like it would be fun. But yeah, it's kind of like a thriller where like one of their friends dies because they play a prank on her for her birthday and then they try to like cover the murder up. But something like that would
Mm.
be super cool. And I briefly mentioned it and they're like, "Oh, that sounds awesome." And I was like, "Okay.
Those sound
Um,
that could go
yeah.
many ways too. Like it's not exactly like that, but that took me back to like Pretty Little Liars type.
Yes, yes."
Yes.
Which I also like grew up watching that.
Yeah.
I was like 11, I think, when it came out,
Yeah.
around that age. So yeah, I like mystery stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
certain like a group of people trying to solve something. Like it's just like intriguing because it leaves you hanging and wanting more. So,
Yeah. Would you want that to be like set as like a actual set thing or like an interactive storyline?
ooh.
Hmm.
I think the interactive storyline could be really beneficial because then you would have options and the audience can
Yeah.
choose what happens. So I think that would be really interesting. But I also think that having one narrative on one note about what happens is also pretty cool because then you can
Yeah.
choose to leave it on a cliffhanger if you want to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
think,
I personally I'm not big on the interactive ones only because unless you've got like all the money or all the coins, you can't. you can't pick. You just have to go with what you can afford. So there could be like certain ways you want the storyline to go, but you just have to go the
Pay
way
more.
that that one is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I like it when, I mean, there are some that have really big cliffhangers and then there's been nothing else. And it's like, what happens? Like, but then you don't get approved for a second one before the first one finishes, I'm assuming a lot of the time. So
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think just like putting more of those kind of stories is going to be what keeps people intrigued because I mean, now like the same stories, we're just seeing them over and over again and it's just not like people are tired of seeing it. Like
yeah.
there needs to be new things.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Actually, I've got one more question. If you could change anything about the vertical world, what would it be?
Ooh. Um oh, I probably just like oh, this is a good question cuz I'm like um what would I change? Other than everything that we have talked about, I would just want to change like making things equal for everyone because on these sets I'm still finding out that like crew is severely like unpaid, like underpaid.
Yeah.
And they're not treated the best either and it's just like
Mm.
I don't know, we're all putting our work into this and trying to make it happen because it takes a village to do any of this and I
Yeah.
just think the companies that don't like pay people what they're worth adequately, it just that needs to stop because there's other companies that are doing that and that's why people want to work for them more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing the bigger companies could pay more, I'm assuming. Um, but yeah, it still needs to be equal. I mean, I think I'm hoping because I don't know for sure. But would it change depending on how many verticals you've done or how popular you are to how much you get paid? I don't know about that one.
What I have noticed is that even like it doesn't matter like how much people love me or like my following, like that's a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
if I were a guy, I probably would be making a bit more. But
Oh, okay, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But because I'm
Mm.
not, you know,
Yeah.
accepted that at this point because I know that someday like I'll be making that or maybe more. Um but yeah, so it doesn't bother it used to bother me a lot, like especially when I first found out. I was like, why? Like I like am doing so much more, but then I was
Mm.
just like, I'm just gonna let it go because I know like my worth and like I have started like standing up for myself and saying, no, this is like what I deserve, like
Yeah.
respectfully. Um,
Yeah.
and certain people have respected that. So
Well, I'm glad I know that now because I know that a lot of the fan pages love to advocate for the right cause. And now this is one of them that I'd be happy to advocate for because I think that, like you said, everybody should be treated equal. Yeah.
yeah, well,
So,
because we're all the same, doing the same thing. It's like no one is doing anything differently. But I do think that, at least between like number one and number two, it's like you should either be making the same or
yeah.
number one should be more.
Mm, yeah. I mean, the lead, like I know that some of like your classmates lead and co-stars, they're all just roles, but you've got your leads. I know that some of the, supporting roles have more lines and more to do than the actual leads themselves sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So
And so I
they
think
put
that,
in,
yeah, that also deserves to be paid more because it's like if you're
yeah,
doing more work, it's only fair.
yeah,
It's not about like, who is who or like who has more of what or like, you know, how good someone looks because that's another factor, unfortunately. With
yes.
yeah, with certain aspects of it. But it's just like who is putting in more work? Like that is what is fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's very sad to hear that depending on what you look like is what you get paid. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, they're all still acting, they're all still doing the same job. Obviously some doing a little bit more, but yeah, that's rough.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell anybody before we go?
Um, hmm. Just that this was like super fun and it was nice like getting to talk about just certain things because I used to be so scared about talking about stuff like this because I was
Yeah.
nervous that like I would have like them getting mad at me, like
Yeah.
specific people, but now it's like I have freedom to do and say more of what I want.
Good.
Um, so yeah.
And I think it's important for people to take on constructive criticism, you
Yeah,
know?
because none of this is in a negative way. It's just from everything that I've experienced over the past 2 years because I'm starting to work with like producers now that just got into it, just got into the vertical space. And it's like, while I value like and respect them, like at certain times, it's like they don't really know like what to do or like how to, I guess, go about, certain
Yeah.
situations. And it's just because they haven't been doing it that long.
Yeah.
As we're like, the actors that started doing these early on, it's like we've been doing it for a while and, we kind of know what to expect at this point.
Do you find that they are open to listening to your ideas or they like, no, no, we know what we want?
Um, I would say sometimes. I think now people are more open to listening to what I have to say rather than before. And I think it
Yeah.
only started happening that way when I flipped a switch and I started being more vocal. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, this is what I think and how I feel. And maybe, like, if you care to listen, we could find ways to work around that. And
Yeah.
so it's just about like how you say things, not so much like
Yeah.
what you say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, yeah, no, that's good.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you for having this interview with me today. It was really fun and it was lovely to actually see you.
I know, first time.
Yeah,
Ah!
it's been a while. Um,
Oh,
I'm actually putting together a bunch of edits lately where I'm putting everybody's verticals together and putting them out so that when people look for them, they're like, oh, that's how many verticals they've been in. So I'll do one for you soon.
oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna be honored,
Um,
but that's
some
probably
of
gonna
them
be.
I can't do everything. Like I just did one for Jared Harper, and there's so many. There's so much stuff it doesn't fit into one edit.
You're like,
But
wow.
yeah, I mean that's a good thing. It means a lot of work and things like that. But yeah, but I will do one for you very soon. No worries. All right. Well, you have a good day, and I will speak to you again very, very soon, I hope.
Thanks, too.